Hello. When it comes to transferring your pattern markings onto your fabric, as you can see on this particular pattern, I know it's a bit crumpled, but I've had it in my bag. I've got a lot of pattern markings that I need to transfer to my fabric, because if I don't do that, I will have a heck of a job to match up what I'm doing. The method I was taught at college is to use Tailors tacks, or in this case I'm using thread tacks. They're quite simple to do. Just get some tacking thread and just take tiny little stitches all the way along your pattern markings, and then when you've done them all, just snip the loops. When you finish them all, you just pull it apart ever so slightly and just snip between the loops. Obviously you do that all around, and you'll end up with this, and it looks messy, but believe you me, you'll be glad of it when you come to put your garment together. It's on both pieces of fabric exactly the same, and those are my pattern markings. There are other methods of transferring your pattern markings from your pattern onto your fabric, but I just prefer good old-fashioned tacking thread. Jaycots sell proper Gutterman tacking thread, by the way. It is made out of pure cotton and the fibres are quite rough, so even when you're working on your fabric, they will stay put until you remove them. You just pull them out and they're gone. Another method that I like to use is Tailors chalk, proper Tailors chalk, and you'll use a ruler and you can just draw on your fabric, and that's really useful as well. That will also be easily removed. You can get chalk pens. They actually, I quite like them on some fabrics that I used to mark on the inside, but if you're not careful and you iron over them, the marks even from these can remain permanent. Tailors chalk and Tailors tacks are non-permanent. This will easily brush off. Tailors tacks just pull out easily. There are also trick markers, and some of them are air soluble, some of them are water soluble. Be very, very, very careful with these. If you're going to use them, make sure you're using them on a thick fabric, because again, if you don't remove them before you press your seam, which you might not have time to do if it's a water soluble one, you might not want to wait for your fabric to dry, your markings are going to be permanent and they could spoil your garment. So just use a little common sense when you're choosing how you're going to transfer your pattern markings onto your fabric. It's quite time consuming. I usually set aside a day to cut my pattern out and to do all the markings. It really is worth doing it all in one go, because that's all your preparation done, and when you come to sew your garment together, you can just whisk through it then. This particular garment I've made before, so I know it fits me as well. So if you've got a pattern that's your favourite one, just use it again. You can change it in little ways. You can lower the neckline slightly, raise the neckline, you can add top stitching in a contrast colour. And this dress I'm wearing, I've made it twice, and nobody knows it's the same dress because it's in two totally different fabrics. So patterns are expensive, fabric's expensive. We don't want to be putting them on our landfill sites, really. So use them as much as you can. Get good value out of your patterns. If you make a mistake, then see if you can make it into something else. If it's a new pattern or a new pattern company that you've just been introduced to them, for goodness sake, make a test garment, even out of an old sheet or something. You might not necessarily need to do the whole garment, but if you're making a test garment out of some old fabric and you like it, hey, finish it and wear it. So this is just a little aside about transferring pattern markings to your fabric. Don't skip this step, and just do it when you're watching television or whatever and you've got an hour to spare. You'll be really glad that you did it, and just be careful what method you use, because some of them, although they say they're not permanent, will be permanent. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.